North Korea is willing to negotiate the shutdown of its Yongbyon plutonium production plant, which would significantly reduce its ability to make nuclear weapons. But Washington is pressing for a full list of all nuclear and weapons sites, access for international weapons inspectors, and the closure of all sites. Andrew Kim said Washington could offer to lift economic sanctions, reopen military and diplomatic ties with North Korea, and formally sign a peace treaty to end the 1950–1953 Korean War, in return. President Donald Trump stands with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un during a meeting on Sentosa Island, in Singapore, in June last year. That meeting is deemed to have achieved little of substance. Credit. But the sticking point has been the timing and reciprocity, with North Korea refusing to take further steps unless the U.S. eases sanctions, and Washington demanding full denuclearization first. While little tangible results were achieved after the Singapore summit between Trump and Kim, swifter progress has been made between South Korea and North Korea. South Korean President Moon Jae-in last week offered to Trump that South Korea could reopen economic engagement with North Korea as a concession, in order to lessen the U.S. burden of providing incentives to North Korea. Moon said South Korea wants to reopen the mothballed joint Kaesong Industrial Park, and push ahead with joint rail and road links between North and South, but cannot do so until the U.S. agrees to lift sanctions on North Korea. A woman watches a TV news program reporting about North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's departure for Vietnam at the Seoul railway station in Seoul, South Korea, on Sunday. Credit. The two Koreas have recently launched a joint bid to host the 2032 Summer Olympics. The venue for the Hanoi summit meeting hasn't been revealed, but speculation has centered on the government guest house, also known as the Tonkin Palace, and the Metropole Hotel opposite. Kim's officials have been seen repeatedly inspecting the government guest house, a French colonial building that is used to accommodate high-ranking government visitors. The Metropole was Hanoi's first international hotel and names one of its suites after Graham Greene, the famous British novelist who once lived there. Greene wrote his 1955 novel, The Quiet American, at the Metropole. The tale of a CIA agent intervening against the Viet Minh communist insurgency is viewed as presaging America's failed Vietnam War by 2 decades. The prospect of Kim staying at the hotel, or Trump and Kim meeting there to negotiate a nuclear disarmament deal, has tantalized some foreign policy observers. These days, Communist Vietnam manages a balancing act between its large communist neighbor China and the United States. The U.S. backs South China Sea claimants, including Vietnam, against China's aggressive territorial ambitions and refusal to recognize a Hague Tribunal ruling. Last week, Vietnamese media reported on the 40th anniversary of China's failed and short-lived invasion of Vietnam during a 1979 border conflict. North Korea's preference to hold the second summit in Hanoi has boosted the profile of the Vietnamese government's Doi Moi, or Socialist Market Reform Program, which has seen its economy grow quickly and foreign direct investment boom. Vietnam will be seen as providing another model for North Korea to pursue economic reform. Chinese state media highlighted that Kim's journey through China by train to Vietnam echoed similar visits by his grandfather, Kim Il-sung, to meet Ho Chi Minh in 1958 and 1964. Both visits to Vietnam involved visits to China en route. Kim's train will stop at the Vietnam border town of Dong Dang, and Kim will continue the journey to Hanoi by car. Notably, the U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton, the most prominent North Korea hawk in the White House, will not join Trump in Hanoi.